can see yourself here if you want. This is live. Yeah, I did push go live, so they are seeing us, hearing us all the left. Yeah, so you can read the comments there. Should be good to go.
Give it a try.
5 minutes.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. We've had some technical difficulties tonight, but I am now starting our Choice Zoom, which is being broadcast live on Facebook Live. I'm sorry, on YouTube Live. So there's a bit of a delay, so I'm going to wait for a moment to see if you can all hear me on the Choice. All right, so it sounds like we are now live. We are going to start the Choice Forum. And I apologize, there's a bit of a delay, so it's a little bit hard for me to know exactly what you all are seeing. But hi, everybody, I'm Stacy Anderson. I'm the principal for Choice High School and Choice Middle School. And right now, we are going to talk a little bit about the upcoming school year. I also have with me Amber Hosford, who is our assistant principal, and she is going to monitor the chat if anybody has any questions. And again, I thank you. This is a good example of what it will be like for our students as they are learning new technologies themselves. So a couple things to let you know. We are really excited to welcome back our Choice students who've been with us before, and to bring on new students who would like to apply to Choice or become part of Choice. Choice School has been around for about 36 years, and we serve students grades 7 through 12. So if you are interested in coming to a school that's a small school with very personable culture and unique student body, this is the right place for you. So what we will be doing is taking applications for Choice throughout the school year. A number of you have already turned in your application, and we appreciate that. If you were enrolled at Choice last year and want to continue at Choice, you will be re-enrolled, but we do ask that you fill out an application. Amber will be putting information into the chat for where you can find the applications. For those of you that are new to Choice, we do ask also that you fill out an application, but we accept all students who apply to us. We just want to make sure we know a little bit about you before we get you engaged in the school. So we will be having 2 weeks from now an open house and orientation for Choice students from 5:30 to 6:30 on Wednesday night, right before school starts, so 2 weeks from today. The exciting thing about that is you will get to meet some of the teachers and hear a little bit about how the school is structured. And the first week of school, we will mostly be meeting with you one-on-one to get you set up for your classes for the year. We do not pre-register students into classes prior to the beginning of the year at Choice because Choice is very individualized. Each student will have a written student learning plan where they sit down with their parent or guardian and their advisor, and they are able to select the classes they need for graduation. Now, at the beginning of the school year, you may have heard that all of Shelton School District is going online. So we will be instructing with the K-12 curriculum, which should be an exciting way for you all to learn. We also recognize, though, that students have unique needs. And if the K-12 curriculum fits right for you, that'll be just perfect. But if we need to adapt it a bit or give your student a little bit of accommodations, that's something we're trying to work on too. The Choice staff for years has worked with students who come to us for a variety of reasons, everything because they want a small school, to they got a little behind in credits, to maybe they want to accelerate their learning. So we will enable you to do that. Now, I'm very excited about the program we've set up for Choice this year. We have a lot of classes that are going to be offered that are pretty exciting, everything from commercial arts to some great history and English classes, to reading class if your student needs help with reading. And if you come to Choice, you will be able to cover a curriculum that will prepare you for college or trade school or a job or the military after school, whatever you want to do. And that's part of our teachers' jobs, is to help you be prepared for those things. Now, when you come to that orientation 2 weeks from now, that'll give you a chance to meet your teachers, ask us some questions. We'll try to make that as interactive as we can. And the other thing to know is that because if you enroll in Choice, you may have some flexibility in your schedule. So for example, if you're working during the day, you might be able to take your classes a little bit later in the evening. That'll be the school that you are able to use for some of that flexibility. Even with that being said, you will be having a full load of classes this year. As you may know, last spring, we did not have a full load of classes. So that was something we had to do to adapt to the pandemic, but this year we are ready to go. So at this point, I think Amber is answering questions in the chat room. If you have any questions, be sure to put those in there for us. And I'm just going to check here and see who's in there. I see that Landon is in there. Landon, great to see you. I hope that you are doing really well. And Amanda, thank you for joining our chat. We love to have you all in here. So if anybody has any questions, this is a great time to ask any. Meanwhile, I will be continuing to talk about a few other things that I need to let you know about. So one of the things that you need to know about is that our district understands that it's very hard for some families to access the internet, and that makes it difficult to do your curriculum. So one of the things that we'll be doing is getting hotspots out for families that need them if you have no other way to access the internet. So if you have those concerns, please send us an email and we will get that information out to you. Also, for anybody who needs to pick up an application or get an application, they are available on the district website under the Choice High School webpage. So you can go to enrollment and look up applications. And at this point, I'm going to pause for just a moment to allow for anybody who wants to ask any questions. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions come up. So a couple other things that I might just mention is that we really hope everybody is staying safe through the pandemic. We know that this has been a challenging time for everyone. And that is one of the things that we know is going to continue to be challenging. Because of that, we have things available for you, supports like we usually have. We have Elizabeth Hamilton, who's our counselor. And if anybody needs support from her, feel free to email her. She is checking her emails. You can also email me as the principal, Stacy Anderson, or Amber Hosford, our assistant principal, and we will do our best to help you all have your questions answered. So at this time, I'm going to wait just a few more seconds to see if there's any other questions. One of the good questions that I had brought up to me was a little bit about the K-12 curriculum. So let me talk about that a little bit. One of the great things about the K-12 curriculum is that it is available online and you should be able to access everything you need. Students will be logging on to their classes at a certain time of day. So for example, if you've had Carrie in the past or Keith and you want to take Spanish with Keith, at a certain time of the day, Keith will have a Spanish class. You'll log on through Zoom and you'll be able to interact with Keith, talk to the teachers, ask questions and things like that. So Choice has also had some time traditionally during the day where you can work independently as needed. So the teachers will have some times in their session where there's at least one teacher available during every class period to answer questions if you want to just log on and talk to that teacher. We do have a little bit of changes in our teaching staff for Choice this year. I can see that Jerry Rice, one of our teachers, is on right now. And he taught in the day program before, but this year he will be teaching in the ALE programs for Choice. And he are going to be able to do he will be doing things like biology, math, and he's a great addition to this program. So students like Landon, I think you will connect great with Jerry. It'll be great to see you guys working together. As far as the K-12 curriculum, you will have training that from your teachers, along with other things we want to help you get used to, like how to use Zoom and how to use the other online tools we have available. One of the big concerns we have is, what can your student do if maybe online learning is not their best learning style? Well, at this point with the pandemic, we are going to try to help everybody learn online, but we'll know a little bit more next week about what kinds of supports we can provide to the students. It is our hope that we can definitely help you all meet your needs and get ready for graduation. For example, I know we have at least one senior listening in right now, and our goal is to get you ready for graduation and to be able to go on to the future, whether that's college or whatever you want to do next. So that is our plan as usual. Let's see. If you cannot attend the open house, great question. So a couple things you can do. You can email one of us, and I think the best person to email probably would be Elizabeth Hamilton, our counselor. So hopefully Amber can put her email into the chat there. And Elizabeth is somebody who can set you up with a one-on-one Zoom appointment, telephone call, or something of that nature so that we can get you set up with information. You can also go to the Choice website, and on the Choice website, you can see a little bit more information about Choice and find out more details that way, and check back regularly because we are updating the website as frequently as we can so that we can keep you updated on all the information, because we know communication in the time of the pandemic is very difficult. At this point, we are not planning on having students in the building for instruction until we're ready to go back to a hybrid model. And when we do go to a hybrid model, which we hope to do as soon as possible, students for Choice will need to attend at least 10 hours a week, but they'll have some flexibility in their schedule because a lot of you are working or have other commitments, and we understand that. You can also get credit for work, which is great. So if you are working in a job that is, and you're 16 or over, you can get some work-based learning credit. Another question, are the yearbooks in? Yes, the yearbooks came in just this week. So my plan is next week, I will set up some dates when you can stop by to pick up your yearbooks. And for those of you that didn't get them last spring, well, none of you got them last spring, we will have a time when you can come outside and pick up your yearbooks from last year. Great question. We want to make sure that you have all of the things you need to start the school year too. So as you might know, Choice usually provides a lot of school supplies for people who may not have them. Or even if you do have them and you just want some more great supplies. Another hope we have is that that week before school starts, we'll be able to have an opportunity for you to pick up things like that, school supplies that you might need. And we're just trying to make sure as a district that we do that safely, and we have an opportunity to set up stations outside where we could do that with social distancing, with appointments, so people can get all of that done safely. But I do encourage you, just like always, if you have any needs, if your family is experiencing, this is a tough time for a lot of people, and if your family is experiencing any kind of need, whether it's food or things like that, feel free to send us an email and we'll try to connect you with the right person. To be honest, we all just miss you guys. The teachers and the staff want to be back just as badly as you do. And we're all trying to figure out how to do this remotely. So we appreciate your patience with us. And we will continue to answer questions that come up here. Great question by one of our staff members. I see Chris Salisbury is on here, one of our teachers, and we also have Renee Purchase, one of our classified staff. So for Chromebooks, some of you already have your Chromebooks checked out from the summer and that you had last spring, and that's great. You can continue to use those in the fall. If you returned your Chromebook, or if you want to get a Chromebook this year because maybe you're a new student or you didn't have one, we plan on having Chromebook checkouts again. That will be posted on the district website as soon as we have the dates and locations for that. So last year, I know our district was great about setting up multiple sites for that, and there are places you could go pick them up, everywhere from Shelton High to Evergreen Elementary to right here at Choice. And we'll try to make it as convenient as we can for you. Another question that has come up is about school lunches and things like that. We still have our summer meal programs going on. So if you need food, please check the district website. There's information about that. And the plan is that in the fall, there will be food service as well, not necessarily at every location, but at the locations around town to help students get food, because we know that's a vital service. A couple of other things we're looking forward to next year. We have the Gear Up Grant again, which is a great program funded by the federal government and the state. We will have Diva Roberts returning to do some Gear Up services for you. And this is great because it helps students from 7th through 12th grade look at what they want to do after high school, if they want to go to college, doing things like their FAFSA, scholarships, but also just helping you out with your classes. And, if you're struggling in a math class, helping you get a math tutor. I see another great question is, will there be credit retrieval for seniors? Absolutely. One of the great things we have at Choice is credit retrieval for anybody who wants to do it. We also have credit acceleration. So if you find that your regular load of classes is not that challenging for you, or you want to move faster, you can challenge your courses. And say it's something that maybe you took in the past as a sophomore, and maybe you took biology A and whatever reason, maybe you got really sick, or maybe you moved and you need to retrieve that credit. There's some ways to go through it a little more quickly than just doing the whole course over again. So that is one of Choice's strengths, is doing credit recovery for seniors and all students. I will mention that we do have a 7th and 8th grade program. It's a pretty small program, and those students will be attending, once we're back in person, at least a half of a day, with a longer day available for the students who need it. So half a day will cover the core academic areas, with Karen Sachs as one of the teachers and Jerry Rice as another of the teachers. And those 7th and 8th graders will have the opportunity also to take some interesting electives, whether it be commercial art, PE, maybe some video production, some of those types of things. So there will be some opportunities for middle schoolers. And then the majority of our students end up being 9th through 12th grade, although we love to welcome those middle school students also. At this time, we do not offer programming for students under the age of 7th grade, but our schools in the district, one of the benefits of the fact that we're going online is there have been people who've been wanting that for K through 6 students. So I do encourage you, if you have a student in those age groups, to tune in for the elementary community forum that'll happen next week, or the middle school community forum too, because they have some great services for those age groups. Some people have been wondering about graduation. As you may know, Choice did not do a graduation ceremony last spring because our students wanted to be able to do it in person if at all possible this fall. Well, as we know, the pandemic numbers have not been as good as we hoped, but we do plan on doing a graduation ceremony on Friday, September 18th, and we are in the works of getting that all planned out right now. If you are a senior who graduated with us last spring, feel free to send us an email of your ideas. We will be reaching out to all seniors through email, though, to let you know the details of what we're thinking and get input from you. Now, I think there is a little bit of a delay for you hearing me and for me seeing your questions, but if you have questions, feel free to put them in there. And Amber is also answering those in the chat in case you're having any difficulty hearing me. So, great question from Landon, and absolutely, Landon. We have information for you that we can connect you up with. So Landon, if you can email Elizabeth or me, we are glad to connect you up. And if we don't get an email from you, knowing us, we'll call you soon because we have your information. But absolutely, there are resources for students, whether it's through Kim and Host or through Elizabeth or Betty, we can definitely help you with some resources. As far as Amanda's question, students with an IEP, great question. We have an amazing special education department at Choice. We have 3 special education teachers in our building, 2 that work with Choice students and 1 that works with Cedar. And Cedar High School is another school housed in our building, for those of you that don't know that. So yes, students with an IEP, we do everything from students who have an IEP in reading, writing, or math, one of those academic areas. Some students have an IEP in behavior or speech therapy. Our primary teacher for the Choice students is Danae Place, and she is an incredible special ed teacher who really does give you all an opportunity to look at your IEP, see where your needs are, and then tailor the curriculum for you. Another teacher we have on campus as part of the Choice staff is Tammy Stoutner, and she works with students who are in a transition program from 18 to 21, who may have completed most of their academics, but still need some practice on doing some of those skills to transition into adulthood. So we encourage you to apply if you have an IEP. As far as a GED program, we are hoping to offer our own GED program starting in January, but we do not currently have one on campus. At this time, the GEDs are offered through Gravity, which is located over on right across from Safeway at the Transit Center. To get a GED in our district, you do have to generally be at least to go for a GED, you have to be at least 2 years behind in credit and be signed out of the last high school you attended. So if you as a student attended Shelton High School or your child did, that's where you would go to see if they want to sign you out to go get a GED. And you guys talk it over and see if it's the best option. If you attended Choice, then that's where you would come as here to talk about the option for a GED. For some students, it's completely the right fit. Another great question about the 504 meetings. So if you have a 504, which is a set of accommodations based on, it could be anything, usually a health issue, you still do have a 504. Your 504 is still in place. And we will still have 504 meetings. So with 504s, you generally have a review once a year if needed. And we will continue to support you with all of those accommodations on there. The one thing that we are still sorting out from the state and as a district is how do we make all of these accommodations and supports for your 504s and your IEPs during remote learning. So we'll have to partner with you and the students and the parents on how to do that effectively. Great questions right now. Let's see if there's anything else I can think of to cover for you right now. We are just super excited about this new school year. We have a couple of other teachers I see are on there. So Christina Patrick is our Independent Learning Academy teacher from last year. And she is going to be one of the lead choice teachers this year as a team leader. We'll have Christina, for those of you that are returning. We have Glenn Helens, our commercial art teacher. Keith Spencer, who a lot of you have worked with, who teaches Spanish and does EL services. We have Glenn Helen Smither, who is one of our team leaders, and she'll be doing commercial art. Danae Place, who many of you have worked with last year. Now for the teachers, just so you all know as students, some of them will be working out of the building here, utilizing their classrooms, and others are working from home. So our goal as a district is safety and security above everything else. So we're just trying to keep you all safe in this pandemic and make sure we have everybody get through this with as a few people getting sick as possible. So that is the goal. Karen Sachs will also still be working with the middle school program a little bit. And I feel like I'm forgetting a teacher. Carrie Fennell is still with us. So most of you know the teachers if you've been here, but if you haven't been here before, I will say the choice teachers are incredibly compassionate, warm, and also they'll hold you accountable to get your work done. So our goal is to get you to graduation, whether you're a 7th grader or a 12th grader. We want to help you along that pathway, build your skills, and get you as much passion for learning as we can. And, oh, we got a nice comment in the chat. Thank you for telling us that choice is awesome. We appreciate that. We do try to help you all as much as we can. Another question about job resources. I don't have any offhand right now, but I think, again, Landon, if you can give us an email, we can maybe connect you up with some. I know Safeway just did a big hiring event last week. I don't know if they're still hiring, but some of our students have definitely gotten jobs there. I've seen that a lot of the fast food places are hiring because it does seem to be, that's where people are going in the pandemic, is those fast food places and the grocery stores. So I would definitely check with those. And then, as you know, we always want to help you prepare for your career and anything that you're interested in doing next. So we really want to make sure that you are ready for those next steps and connect you up with job opportunities as much as we can. Another question is, new market still available? Wow, that is a great question. This might be the first one that has stumped me. It is an option. I believe they're going online too, just like we are. Amber did put in the chat that Elizabeth or Amber can help you get signed up for New Market. I don't know if they're going completely online or if they're doing any kind of hybrid learning, but last spring they were completely online and they were definitely still available. So it looks like Amber knows a little bit more about that than me, and I sure hope they are. Also, I did sign some paperwork today, for example, for a Running Start student. So Running Start is still available too. If you want to go to college and as a junior or senior, get your credits through some college partnerships, we're glad to help you with that too. So my understanding is most of these school options are still available. It's just a little bit of a trickier on figuring out how to get you enrolled for some of them. So we are happy to help you with all of that though. So we're kind of winding down here. I do appreciate those of you that have logged on to support our community forum and to bear with us as this was our first attempt at one. And I see we have some bugs to work out, but you guys have been a great audience. Are there any other final questions? I'll just pause a moment for that. So I do see that Amber found some more information out from the Newmarket website. They are planning to have students back in the fall. So that is really interesting. And I would think, I know that we have some district office people listening. So maybe one of the things we're going to need to get out to the community for the high school students is to find out if there are buses at all that will be transporting from the Shelton School District to Newmarket. Given that our schools are closed, I don't know if that will happen, but I hope that that's something that we can have an answer for you on here in the next week or so. So you can contact our counselor or one of us here at Amber or myself, and we can hopefully get you some information on that. And to Mallory, thank you. I'm glad this is awesome for you. Hopefully we've answered your questions, but for all of you, we are really hopeful that we can meet each one of you individually through Zoom or on the phone as needed to help you out. We want to answer all of your questions. We know that a community forum that's somewhat one way is not necessarily the best to really get everything out to you, but it's an attempt. So please contact us if you want to have a meeting with one of us, and we're glad to sit down and chat with you and Zoom with you or talk to you on the phone, whatever will work for you. Our goal is to support all of our students in getting their education done this fall. So with that, I think we're going to wrap things up. I will pause just a few more seconds here to see if any of the other questions come through. And from my first attempt at this earlier tonight, I do know that if I stop talking and end it, with the delay, I may cut off. So I'm going to try not to do that. But I will just thank you all for being here and say thank you for joining us on our First Choice YouTube live stream. And we appreciate all of you.